The Celestial Lounge floated in the neutral zone between 3 star systems, a place where species from across the galaxy came to mingle. Kate's hoverchair hummed softly as she navigated through the crystalline corridors, her wolf hybrid ears twitching nervously beneath her hood. She'd agreed to this blind date against her better judgment, convinced by her well-meaning Andromedan friend that she deserved companionship. The restaurant section shimmered with bioluminescent panels, casting everything in soft blues and purples. Kate spotted her date immediately, a Zygonian male with iridescent scales and 4 arms. He was laughing loudly with 3 other Zygonians at a nearby table. Her enhanced hearing picked up every word. "Look at her coming now," one sneered. "A crippled hybrid. This is going to be priceless." Kate's clawed fingers gripped her armrests. She should leave. She should turn around right now. But something stubborn in her human heritage, perhaps her wolf pride, refused to give them the satisfaction. She approached the table with her head high. "You must be Zoltha," she said, her voice steady despite the humiliation burning in her chest. The Zygonian turned, his bioluminescent patches flashing in what his species considered amusement. "Indeed, and you must be the charity case." His companions erupted in chittering laughter. Kate's ears flattened against her skull. "I see. Well, thank you for making this easy." She began to turn her chair when Zoltha's voice stopped her. Wait, don't be so sensitive. Sit. Let's see if a broken hybrid can at least hold a conversation." The other Zygonians leaned forward, their multifaceted eyes gleaming with malicious anticipation. This was entertainment for them. A cruel game. Kate remained frozen, anger and shame warring inside her. Her legs useless since the colony raid that had killed her pack felt like anchors weighing her down. The neural damage had been too severe, beyond even hybrid regeneration. "Actually," a new voice cut through the tension, "this table is taken." Kate's sensitive nose caught his scent before she fully turned human, with notes of coffee and something mechanical. Engine grease, maybe. A man stood beside her chair, tall and broad-shouldered, with dark hair and eyes that burned with quiet fury. He wore a simple jumpsuit marked with the insignia of a human cargo vessel. "Excuse me." Zoltha's patches flared aggressive orange. "This is a private," I said. The human interrupted, his voice dropping to something dangerous. "The table is taken. By us." Without hesitation, he reached down and gently took Kate's hand in his. His palm was warm, calloused, real. "Sorry I'm late, sweetheart. Traffic in the docking bay was murder." Kate stared at him, her yellow eyes wide. Who was this human? The man Leon, according to the name patch on his chest, met her gaze with a slight nod, a silent plea to play along. Something in his expression, a raw honesty mixed with protective anger, made her decision easy. "It's fine," she heard herself say. "I just got here myself." Zoltha rose to his full height, towering over Leon. "You dare interrupt us? Do you know who my family? I know exactly who your family is," Leon said calmly. "Third son of the Xyle Trade Consortium, which means you're nobody important trying to feel big by bullying someone in a hoverchair." He leaned forward slightly. "How's that feel? Being seen for exactly what you are?" The other Zygonians stood, their scales rippling with threat displays. The restaurant fell quiet, other patrons backing away from the brewing confrontation. Leon didn't flinch. He squeezed Kate's hand once, reassuringly, then released it to stand between her and the aliens. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to apologize to the lady, and then you're going to leave, because if you don't, I'm going to file a formal complaint with station security about your harassment of a disabled civilian in a neutral zone. That's a Class 3 offense. Your family's trade licenses could be suspended pending investigation." Kate's breath caught. He'd done his homework, or he was bluffing with incredible confidence. Zoltha's patches flickered between orange and submissive blue. "You're insane. One human against four cowards who pick on women in wheelchairs." Leon smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Yeah, I like those odds." For a long moment, nobody moved. Then Zoltha's patches settled into dull blue. He turned to Kate, his voice flat. "My apologies for the misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding," Leon repeated, his tone dripping with disgust. "Get out." The Zygonians left quickly, their earlier bravado evaporating under the weight of public scrutiny and the very real threat of legal consequences. Leon turned back to Kate, his expression softening immediately. "You're okay." Kate realized she was trembling not from fear, but from a cocktail of emotions she couldn't name. "You didn't have to do that. You don't even know me." "No," Leon agreed, pulling out the chair across from her and sitting down. "But I know their type. Bullies are universal. Doesn't matter what planet they're from." He studied her face, taking in her wolf ears, her hybrid features, without a trace of disgust or pity. I'm Leon, by the way. Leon Chen, cargo hauler for the Terran merchant fleet. Kate, she managed. Kate Morrison. I was a pack guardian before, she gestured vaguely at her legs. Before some bastards took that from you, Leon finished quietly. But they didn't take everything, did they? You came here tonight, faced them down. That takes guts. Kate felt her throat tighten. I was just being stupid, prideful. No, Leon's voice was firm. You were being brave. There's a difference. He glanced at the menu display hovering nearby. So, since we've already established we're on a date, can I buy you dinner? Fair warning, I'm terrible at small talk. I have the table manners of a dock worker, and my ship is named after a terrible pun. Despite everything, Kate laughed. It burst out of her, genuine and surprised. What kind of pun? The freight train to heaven, Leon said with a completely straight face. Because I deliver goods and get people's prayers answered when supply runs are late. Kate laughed harder, her tail which she usually kept still to avoid drawing attention wagging involuntarily. That's awful. I know, Leon grinned. But it's also mine. Paid off in full last year. His expression grew more serious. Look, I know this started weird, but if you'd rather I leave now, I understand. I don't want you to feel obligated. Stay, Kate interrupted. The word came out more desperate than she intended, but she didn't take it back. Please, I'd like to have dinner. With you. Leon's smile was warm and genuine. Then let's start over. He extended his hand across the table. Hi, I'm Leon. I'm a cargo hauler. I drink too much coffee, and I apparently have a hero complex. Kate placed her clawed hand in his, feeling the now familiar warmth. I'm Kate. I'm a wolf hybrid. I read terrible romance novels, and I apparently have terrible taste in blind dates. Lucky for you, Leon said, his thumb brushing gently across her knuckles. This isn't that blind date anymore. As they ordered dinner and conversation flowed easier than Kate had experienced in years, she realized something profound. The Zygonians had tried to make her feel broken, diminished, less than. But Leon, this random human cargo hauler who'd walked into a situation that wasn't his problem, had seen her. Really seen her. Not the wheelchair, not the disability, not the hybrid features some species found unsettling. Just Kate. And when he held her hand, he didn't hold it like she was fragile. He held it like she was worth protecting, like she mattered. For the first time since the raid, Kate felt something she'd thought was lost forever. Hope. Later, as they left the restaurant together, Leon walking slowly beside her hoverchair, Kate's sensitive hearing picked up whispers from other patrons. But this time, they weren't mocking. They were impressed, curious, some even approving. You know, Kate said as they reached the observation deck overlooking the stars. You never told me how you knew about Zygonian trade law. Leon's grin turned sheepish. I didn't. I was completely bluffing. Kate stopped her chair, staring at him. You what? I was bluffing, he repeated. Had no idea if that was a real thing or not. I just figured they wouldn't know I didn't know, and they'd be too worried about their reputation to risk it. He shrugged. Sometimes being human means being just crazy enough to fake it until you make it. Kate shook her head, but she was smiling. You're insane, probably, Leon agreed cheerfully. But hey, it worked. And I got to have dinner with an amazing woman who laughs at my terrible jokes. I'd say that's a win. As Kate looked at this strange, brave, ridiculous human who'd stepped into her disaster of a night and turned it into something beautiful, she couldn't help but agree that maybe humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their adaptability. Maybe it was simply their refusal to accept that someone should be treated as less than. Their stubborn, sometimes foolish insistence on doing the right thing, even when it wasn't their fight. Or maybe it was just Leon. Either way, Kate thought as he took her hand again, she was grateful.